Hello, in this problem, I'm going to walk through question 7.1.29-T, which on the fall 2021 MyLab Stats homework is question number 10. Reads, refer to the accompanying data set of 20 randomly selected presidents. Treat the data as a sample and find the proportion of presidents who were taller than their opponents. Use that result to construct a 95% confidence interval estimate of the population percentage. Based on the result, does it appear that a greater height is an advantage for presidential candidates? Why or why not? Now we know that we're finding a 95% confidence interval because it states that in the question, and it's of a population percentage. When it says of a population percentage, that means you're finding an interval estimate for a proportion. The word proportion is also stated in the problem. Now, we are asked to use a data set of 20 randomly selected presidents. That data set can be accessed by clicking the icon on your screen. I have it listed to the right side here. We need to construct a 95% confidence interval estimate of the percentage of presidents who are taller than their opponents. So first, let's find out how many presidents are taller than their opponents. You're going to look at the data set that you have, and you have the height of each president in the middle column, and you have the height of their opponents. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight any of the heights that are greater than the opponent listed to the right. So for example, we have Roosevelt is 188, while his opponent is 182. And then we'll have the other Roosevelt is 178 versus 175. So go through, take a moment, and you're going to highlight all of the heights, presidential heights that are greater than their opponents on your list. You can see that I've highlighted all of the heights for presidents that were greater than their opponents. And remember, this isn't all the presidents, it's just a sample. But 11 is the total that were greater. So my X value for my proportion is X. 11 of the presidents had a greater height than their opponent out of the 20, which is my N value, that were sampled. I want to use that to find a 95% confidence interval. And the simplest way to go about finding a confidence interval is to use our graphing calculator. So go ahead and take out your graphing calculator. To find a confidence interval for a proportion in your calculator, first you're going to press Stat, and then you're going to scroll over to Tests. You can either press right twice or left once. And you're going to go down until we find 1 prop z int. On my calculator, it's A. And press enter on that. You'll see for X, you're going to put in 11 because there were 11 presidents who were taller than their opponents. For N, you're going to put 20. Why? Because there were 20 in our sample, 20 presidents. The confidence level is 95%, but we can't use percentages in our calculation, so we'll type in 0.95 and then go ahead and calculate. We get 0.33197 to 0.76803. We're asked to write our answer in percentage form. So that means you're going to take each of those decimals and multiply by 100, essentially moving the decimal point over 2 places. So let's go ahead and write our final answer. You can see here the 95% confidence interval estimate of the percentage of presidents who were taller than their opponents is 33.2% to 76.8%. Notice here that in my confidence interval estimate, I write P in the middle, which is my symbol for the population proportion, because that's what we're estimating, not P hat, but P. Now that we've found the confidence interval, a big part of our job in this course is to analyze the results. What does this confidence interval mean? Now, we were in the original question asked to compare with 50%. Why are we comparing with 50%? Because if height is an advantage, then you would expect that the taller person would win more than half of the time, or more than 50% of the time. So we have some fill in the blanks here to show that we understand what this confidence interval means and how we can use it. So let's go ahead and do those. If greater height was an advantage, then taller candidates should have won more than 50% of the elections. If height's your advantage, then that means it would help you to win more, right? And in this case, greater height appears or does not appear to be an advantage for the presidential candidates. Let's see. Greater height would represent 50%, right? Our confidence interval runs from 33.2% to 76.8%. 50% is within those bounds. So because the confidence interval includes 50%, we can say, in this case, greater height does not appear to be an advantage for presidential heights because the confidence interval includes 50%. And that is all for this question. I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all.